This podcast is brought to you by the Washington State Department of Health. As we continue to listen, learn, and grow, we are amplifying Black voices and perspectives in an effort to start a new COVID-19 vaccine conversation. We're sharing stories intended to help us navigate this unprecedented time together and to co-create solutions in support of the Black community. Hear these stories at weconsiderwa.org.
Realtors abide by a code of ethics. This is Article 9 in action. Beth, a first-time homebuyer, knew nothing about the home buying process, except that she wanted to buy a home. But her realtor had the expertise to make sure Beth understood every document, even giving her copies to review with her lawyer so Beth could close on her first home with confidence. Complicated things explained in simple terms. The difference between an agent and a realtor is real. Realtors are members of the National Association of Realtors. That's who we are.
Hey, this is BJ. Thanks for listening to our show's podcast. If you're a fan of all things geeky, you should check out my other podcast, BJ Shea's Geek Nation. We have new episodes every day, and you can check it out at bjgeeknation.com.
Your wages are being garnished. We can stop that now. It's hard enough to pay your bills when things are good, let alone when a big chunk of your take-home pay is gone before you even get your check. I'm bankruptcy attorney Travis Gagne, and I can stop the garnishment and get the creditors off your back immediately, often the same day as our consultation. Both Chapter 7 and 13 provide bankruptcy relief, but choosing the right chapter is crucial. In a free consultation, we can create a plan to get your finances back under your control. The chapter you choose sets the tone for the next chapter of your life. Please contact me today at choosetherightchapter.com. That's choosetherightchapter.com.
Let's play Beat Migs.
It's time to play the game.
Yeah.
So everybody scream his name. Beat Migs. Don't be a loser.
Time to beat Migs, and it's time to pump it up for Monday. Oh, do it. Yeah, get pumped up. Drink some coffee. Drink some cold water. I'm trying both, and it ain't working, so send some suggestions as well.
Coffee's not pumping you up, really?
Oh, no, man. I don't know what's going on, but...
What the hell did you do yesterday that you're so damn tired?
I went to a children's birthday party.
Oh, those get pretty lit.
Yep. And, 5-year-olds know how to party.
Oh, yeah, all the cake.
Oh, yeah. Just one little piece of that cake. They love that frosting. That's crazy frosting. Oh. Let's get to our contestant. We got Gary in Issaquah. Gary, are you there?
Good morning.
Good morning. All right, Steve, get out of here.
Bye.
For those playing at home, Gary will have 60 seconds to answer 10 questions. Gary, you can pass all you want, but you will only get 3 guesses per question. Are you ready?
I am ready.
In Newton's second law of motion, force is equal to mass times what?
Acceleration.
Yes. Who was the first president to win a Nobel Peace Prize?
Roosevelt.
More specific.
Franklin Roosevelt.
No.
Theodore Roosevelt.
Yes. The animated movie Ratatouille is set in which European city?
Paris.
Yes. What is the core of a golf ball made of?
Rubber.
Yes. What year of the early 2010s was the first iPad introduced?
2012.
No.
2013.
No.
2011.
No. Who directed the Lord of the Rings movies?
Ooh, pass.
What kind of animal is Squidward in SpongeBob SquarePants?
Octopus.
Yes. Which planet spins the fastest?
Mars.
No.
Neptune.
No.
Mercury.
No. What major global conflict started in 1914?
World War I.
Yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Correct.
All righty.
Yeah, it's a pretty good score there. Some tough questions, and if Steve does amazing, he'll get another 6 to 9, which would be kind of cool.
Okay.
But
all right.
Yeah, I don't know if Steve's going to be able to get that many questions right here.
Oh, no, he's got no confidence in Steve.
Maybe Steve will prove me wrong right here.
You know, he's a second-half player, that Steve.
I am.
Are you now?
I hope so.
Are you ready?
Yes! Yes! Yes!
In Newton's second law of motion, force is equal to mass times what?
Energy?
No.
Speed?
No.
Power?
No. Who was the first president to win a Nobel Peace Prize?
Oh, crap. I don't know. Eisenhower?
No.
Roosevelt?
More specific.
Teddy. Theodore.
Yes.
Wow.
The animated movie Ratatouille is set in which European city?
Paris.
Yes.
Paris, France.
What is the core of a golf ball made of?
Water.
No.
Air.
No.
Lead.
No. What year of the early 2010s was the iPad first introduced?
Early, you said?
Yes.
2010.
Yes. Who directed the Lord of the Rings movies?
Peter Jackson.
Yes. What kind of animal is Squidward in SpongeBob SquarePants?
A squid.
No.
Octopus.
Yes. Which planet spins the fastest?
Earth.
No.
Venus.
No.
Jupiter.
Yes. What major global conflict started in 1914?
The War of 1812.
No.
World War One.
Yes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Steve, you win 7-6.
Ooh, close, Gary, but no cigar.
Even with the joke answer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, Gary.
Nice.
I think we ruined Gary's day.
Aw, he was so very sad there.
Well, that's a bummer.
Sometimes with those answers, Steve, and you still end up winning.
Yeah.
Those lead golf balls are pretty. They fly pretty well.
What the hell is in them? Styrofoam?
No.
Styrofoam. Well, you went from one extreme to another.
Gary got that one correct with rubber.
Rubber.
Yeah,
That makes way more sense.
no, those water-filled golf balls. Those travel very, very far.
Oh, they're amazing.
And he also got the tough one. I knew this was going to be a tough one. I didn't think you would get that. In Newton's second law of motion, force is equal to mass times acceleration. Yeah. So even though you didn't get that, you still got the win. So congratulations.
Nice going, Stevie.
Thank you.
There's a chat on Reddit where people were asking, okay, what do you consider a huge waste of money?
Oh,
And,
light bulbs.
Light bulbs.
That's not a waste of money.
It is.
No, wait, don't you need them? You use them.
They overcharge. That's what I mean.
Oh, well, that's different.
Well,
this
yeah,
is
I know
about
you
what
light
you
bulb.
waste your money on, not what you get gouged for.
Okay,
that you
fair.
Yeah.
But I feel like they are a waste of money.
Well, I waste my money on these smart light bulbs. I love those things.
Mortgage.
Okay. I feel like we're really not getting the spirit of this topic.
Fine.
It's stuff that you go, why am I buying this? I don't need this.
Name brands.
You're close. Designer clothing for kids is on the top of the list.
Why would you waste money on that? They grow out of it so fast.
Dude, because it looks cute.
Oh, fine.
You see something at Target and you're like, oh my gosh, I want to see my child in this, and she wears it twice, and then you're sending it to Goodwill or to whatever friend you have that has a kid on the way.
Hey, Target's not that bad.
It's not.
Target's is like $6 for a pair of pants for Lily, whereas like I know like her grandma has bought her like $70 jeans when she's like was like 5, and I'm like, why? She plays in the dirt.
Yeah, we had some like really nice people buy us like some nice shoes, like Doc Martens and like some Nikes, and they're adorable in them. But then it's like within a couple months don't fit, and then you're like, well, now I got to get them again because she looks so adorable in them. But it's just a slippery slope.
That's actually my dad. He keeps buying the Nikes at the outlet store because it's not too far from us. For my little brother, he's had the same pair like 5 times already.
Yeah, name brand or expensive children's clothes is a gigantic waste of money. I know it's oddly specific, and it's probably not on your list, but
well, it is. It's designer clothes for kids,
Oh,
right?
yeah.
And also more about babies, baby toys on the list.
Yeah, there's certain toys where I'm like, dude, she had more fun playing with the box than the actual toy.
Exactly. Yeah,
It's a crapshoot, though. You don't know. You think they're going to dig it.
That doesn't change either. Like for the next 10 years, it's all going to be like about the box. And
why don't we ever know that? Like, I feel like that's something my generation knew, and now you've got your generation, and Danny, you. And I don't. How come we don't pass that along to you? I feel like we should.
Dude, it's brought up for years, and you hear it, and people joke about it, and you don't think about it because you don't have a kid, and then when you have a kid, you just completely let all logic go out the window.
Or sometimes the toys are really just for you because you think it's cool. Like I'm like, I'm going to play with this with him. And then he just cares for the box.
I mean, I did push to get the Bluey stuffed doll and the Bingo stuffed doll. And thankfully, though, like, Tatum's obsessed with them.
Worth it.
Nice.
So, like, she goes everywhere with them now.
At least, that works. But, yeah, it's some of those baby toys we got, too. We're like, why did we do this? Steve, you're also on the list again for this, I'm afraid.
Light
Pet
bulbs.
toys. Oh, no. Not light bulbs. Sorry.
Pet toys, dude. We finally hit the, like, we don't do it as much. I used to, every time I go to the pet store, I would see another toy and I'd come home. My wife would always laugh at me. She's like, do we need all these? It's like, she has like 2 or 3 toys she likes to play with, and that's it.
Yep. Yeah. And but you know what? You get caught up in the moment.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. This
especially
one, though,
the seasonal ones, like when it's like a
yeah.
ghost stuffed toy.
Oh, you got to
or
have that.
A heart for Valentine's Day.
Got to have that.
That's adorable.
We just got to have everything, don't we? Yeah. Now, this one here, Steve, maybe your light bulb answer is not so bad with this one. Again, I don't think the people who answered this understood the idea. Laundromats, which who's using a laundromat that doesn't have to use a laundromat?
Yeah, the only time I had to is because I literally had to because our washing machine broke.
Yeah, I mean, I understand that that it costs a lot more to use a laundromat as opposed to if you just bought yourself a washing machine.
I don't even know what the going rate is these days to use a laundromat.
I think my parents, when they moved, they had to wash all their stuff again because it was all in storage. So all their blankets, all their sheets, all their clothes that was in storage kind of smelled musty. And instead of doing like a million loads at the house, they went to the laundromat. And it was a pretty penny, he said. Just for like a load or two, it was almost $10. Like, it shouldn't be that much.
Yeah, well, it is. Yeah. It is. And that's, but see, I don't think that is a waste of money since, you have to wash your clothes. And if you don't have a washer and dryer in your home,
you can go to the river with a board and just do it there.
Yeah. Oh, I had thought about that. Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Go ahead and do that, Pioneer Man.
You live in Seattle, you just put it out in the rain.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure. Okay, yeah. All right. Well, you know what? You guys have got these solutions. Yeah, I feel like now I've wasted my money on my washer and dryer. I'm sorry. Yeah. Streaming services. Because of the fact that folks did it because they said, well, I'm cutting the cord. And then with all the streaming services they have, it's pretty much like they didn't cut the cord. Yeah. And that's the thing. A lot of folks don't realize that they have to really get a lot of subscriptions to make up for the cutting of the cable. They just don't realize, oh, wow, okay. And I don't believe anything else. Hey, you can get live TV over here, but there's always something where, well, we don't get all the live TV. And, we had a fight with this particular network, so now we can't carry their shows anymore. And you're just like, yeah, you know what? I don't think I'm going to cut anything.
Well, now it's just become like it's like cable, but now you have to put more effort into it. Like cable is nice because it's just like, here, I'll give you this amount of money and you give me all these channels. Now it's like I got to spend all this money, similar amount, but I have to go and pick and choose all the channels. I don't have that kind of energy.
Oh yeah, you don't need that in your life.
But I think the cord cutting thing really was popular back when it was Netflix and pretty much Netflix only.
Yeah.
At that point, people were just like, yeah, for $12 a month, I get all these shows, I got all this, I got all that. I don't need cable, but those days are gone.
Oh, yeah. And also, you're going to miss out on everything else, though. I mean, Netflix isn't going to give you the football games and not going to give you, there's a lot of stuff it won't give you, but a lot of people were happy with that. But now they get you, Steve, the Disneys and the Paramount Pluses.
Oh, how about this text, though? Fireworks, giant waste of money, but totally worth it. Yeah, you're just basically buying something. You're buying things to just blow up.
Yeah, you don't
literally
need
lighting money on fire.
Yes,
and you really don't need it if you go see a good fireworks show somewhere. But
or have really cool neighbors that do it themselves.
Yeah,
if you're in Tacoma,
they're human beings want to blow stuff up themselves. It's really interesting. It's like to me, it's a lot of work. It's like, why do I want to go light this up and maybe blow my hand off? I'll just go watch the show, which is going to have much better fireworks.
With you, not maybe, definitely blow your hand off.
Here's something that I think is really way over. Like we spend way too much money on, and that's funerals. I mean, the casket itself, that business, wow. I mean, if you realize what's happening in that casket, you're like, why am I spending for all the Cadillac stuff? Because,
Right, I could have just used that cardboard box, is what you're trying to say.
You hate to
say
box
that it came in with.
Yeah,
The one that you played with when you were a kid. You just keep that one throughout your life, and then you get buried in it.
Or tell the funeral home, like, hey, I know the Johnsons sadly lost someone in their family. Can you just grab the box that the casket shipped in?
That should do the trick, really.
It's probably tasteless.
Like the Old West.
See, I never think about that because fortunately, I've not had to be in a situation where I'm paying for the funeral costs, obviously. But I mean, as we get older, sadly, that's an inevitable thing, and it sucks.
Yeah, and I feel like, man, there's just a lot of waste of money in that. And then finally, somebody put printer ink, and I mean, again, Steve, it's kind of like your thing, though. It's like the printer ink is like light bulbs. It's like, well, you kind of. I mean, I guess I don't need a printer, but if I want to print stuff, where can I get cheap ink?
Yeah, but with the light bulb thing, like if I'm like, oh, I need light in my house, it's like I don't say, oh, I could go to work and just enjoy the light there. Whereas with the printer ink,
wait, you can't?
Oh, are you the reason why we get those emails, Steve? It's like the printer is only for work purposes only. Is that okay?
I love
I'm saying
that
hypothetically.
I like that he's
Yeah.
putting it on you as if he doesn't print and like laminate stuff here, have things laminated by someone at work.
I used to, not anymore. Bought my own laminator because I started feeling bad about it after the 100th time.
You own a laminator?
I sure do.
Oh my gosh!
Hey, listen, I was using the companies and I started feeling bad.
Yeah,
and
you're probably the only person that was using that laminator here.
BJ and Migs, mornings on The Rock, 99.9 KISW.
This podcast is brought to you by the Washington State Department of Health. As we continue to listen, learn, and grow, we are amplifying Black voices and perspectives in an effort to start a new COVID-19 vaccine conversation. We're sharing stories intended to help us navigate this unprecedented time together and to co-create solutions in support of the Black community. Hear these stories at weconsiderwa.org.
99.9 KISW, The Rock of Seattle. There's a woman. Her name is Chloe, and she's going viral on TikTok after posting several videos of a construction crew working in her backyard. Now, she claims they showed up to the wrong house, and she has no idea what they're building, but she says she's not going to tell them until they're done because she wants whatever it is they're installing.
Wow.
There you go. It looks like it's some kind of deck or patio, which, you know what, I don't blame her. I think I would like a nice deck or patio. Sure, that works.
No, this is actually true. I mean, like, wouldn't the person that lives, whoever next door, be like, hey, we need a deck and patio done. The workers haven't shown up yet. Like,
Yeah.
when you say something.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. A lot of folks are wondering if it's just a publicity stunt in some way, shape, or form, whether she's trying to be Insta-famous or whatever.
I mean, they're legit doing it. So I'd like to know the true, like, what's going on really with this?
Yeah, because she said, oh, I'm going to get this for free. And, of course, people on the Internet pointed out that that's horrible. You should say something. And then she was like, oh, no, I'll pay. I'll pay for it. But she still isn't going to stop them from basically doing the wrong job, which does suck if it's true. If anybody knows anything about construction, if people do stuff at your house, it is frustrating because you know they have multiple jobs, and that's how that business is. They take multiple jobs, and sometimes they overlap, and
Yep.
you know, and so to think that, you know, your construction company is working on a job that's not even the correct job, which could throw back your project even more, that would irritate the hell out of me just as a random human being who's had to deal with it.
Well, imagine being a construction worker. Like, okay, let's just say it's like the address was off enough that the neighbors don't notice that. Because it could be one of those situations where maybe, like, I remember I used to live on a street like 75th Street, and then there was a 75th place, and they were near each other, but people would always get confused which one was which. So they're doing all this work. I imagine, like, whoever's in charge of the company is like, hey, man, the homeowners say you haven't shown up yet. And they're like, we're here right now. What do you want from us? Like,
yeah, I mean, what kind of homeowner doesn't say, that they're not here yet? Unless you're just, I don't know, you could be an absentee homeowner. You could be somebody that travels a lot.
Yeah, maybe they're out of town or something.
That could be they planned a vacation, said, hey, do the work while we're on vacation.
Okay, but for this girl, I just have the issue of, like, they know where you live and they know the work they did. So eventually you're going to have to pay for it. Like,
Right.
I would never be like, oh, I'm not going to say anything. Maybe I'll just get this deck for free. I'd be like, no, they're going to figure it out and be like, hey, we just did all this work.
Yeah, according to her latest update, she says people did find out the company and called them to rat her out.
I love this.
And she claims that they're still going to finish the job.
Oh, that's good customer service there at that point.
Yeah, which I guess if she's willing to pay for it, why wouldn't they finish the job?
Well, I mean, for all we know, she maybe is paid right up on the get-go, but is using this as an opportunity to get her TikTok out there. Because, I mean, she got 27 million views on the first video that she put up there, and each one after that has averaged about 2 to 3, maybe even 4 million views.
Wow. I think you're right, Steve. This has got to be intentional.
Is she hot?
I mean,
that's a no.
Everyone's beautiful in God's eyes.
Oh, okay.
Because someone that she's probably very attractive.
She's
to.
attractive, but she's not Steve attractive.
Well,
Steve's got a type.
And Steve is very attractive.
Thank you. Yeah. My type is the mirror.
Yeah. That's right. She doesn't look like him. So
That explains those smudges on the mirror.
Oh, you know.
Yeah.
Just for times.
Wow.
It's the lukewarm topic of the day.
Okay, so we're going to pretend all this is true and not just somebody trying to get TikTok famous.
There we go.
She's scamming somebody, though. I tell you that much.
That's good. You're right. You're absolutely right. And usually it's us. I mean, with all these folks that are TikTok, Instagram people, it's usually us. Apparently, builders showed up at the wrong house, but the person who lived there didn't say anything because she wanted the work done. Based on this, what was the ultimate move or scam that you pulled? 206-421-ROCK. Text us at 77999. Let's go to Jason in Lacey. Jason, you are on the Rock.
Hey, morning, guys. Love your show.
Oh, thanks. Welcome to the show, buddy. What you got for us?
So when I was probably a teenager, mid-teens, when video games just came out, and they didn't have barcode scanning, they did the manual stickers with the prices.
Yep.
I would peel off the cheap price of the cheap video games and put them over the expensive video games.
Yeah, that was always. That's why they started making those labels that had all sorts of little tears in them. I remember we used to have to do that back when I worked at TJ Maxx. Those labels were a pain in the neck, but they were the anti-theft labels, so you couldn't peel them off and put them on, the more expensive stuff. You were the reason, Jason.
Yeah, I know. And basically, all the cashiers, they're teenagers too, so they didn't care. They didn't look.
Yeah. That was a good scam. That was a good scam till they made those labels.
Yeah, that was always like you try to carefully peel. Not that I ever did that, but like, you take like the $1.99 toy and all of a sudden put that label over the G.I. Joe action figure that was $6.99. And you're just like, ooh, like
$6.99.
Nice.
Yeah. My mom did that one time at Kmart way back in the day, and it was just because, and it wasn't necessarily the sticker. They had fireworks, I remember, and I really wanted like the big pack of fireworks, and it was just put in the wrong place. So it was labeled for $5, and so she went up and was like, they're all in the $5 area, so they had to ring it up for $5, and we got like a $60 pack of fireworks for $5.
Jeez.
Yeah, they don't do that anymore like they used to, Danny.
Right, I know. There's barcodes.
Yeah.
The computers really have effed us.
Yeah, they have.
We can't scam people anymore the ways we used to, right?
I know. It's so sad, Steve, that we actually have to pay what's fair, the price that they ask. I hate this world.
Yeah, it's not a world I want to be in.
206-421-ROCK. Text us at 77999. Josh and Kent, you are on the Rock.
Hey, guys.
Welcome to the show, Josh. What you got for us, buddy?
All right, so mine's how to get free McDonald's, not just, saying, hey, you forgot something. So you pull up to the window, and it can't be a 2-lane drive-through. It's got to be a single lane. That's very important.
Okay.
And you pull up to the drive-through, and you're like, hey, welcome to McDonald's. You're, 1 second, I'm looking for my wallet. And you look around, do, pretend like you're looking. And then, I'm so sorry, I left it at home. I'm so sorry. And then you pull up to the first window, that's the person you just talked to. And then I usually just kind of bull BS for a second, and then kind of wait for the person behind you to make their order. And then so you're like, okay, great, have a great day. And you take off, but you don't go past the second window. You just sit there and watch your mirrors, and as soon as they hand them the receipt behind you, you pull up to the second window and get the car behind you's food. It's a complete gamble on what you're going to get, but it's free food.
Wow.
You're an awful human being.
Wow. Yeah. Yeah.
You would make me so sad if I pulled up.
Behind you, they just make their food again, so they still get theirs.
Wow.
But you have to wait longer now.
Yeah.
Right. You defeated the purpose of fast food.
Boy, there's a lot you got to do, man. I mean, you got to chat up the other person, then you got to sit there and wait and go window to window. Yeah, that's but you know what? That is a scam.
It's quite the scam.
I never even thought of doing that, but I mean, it's kind of, it makes sense how it could all work.
I'm glad you were tracking him, Steve, because I got lost there in the middle.
I was getting lost. I was like, this doesn't make any sense. And then finally with the stall part brought me right back in. I'm like, wait a second.
Yeah. So you just
I
basically
cannot condone this kind of behavior.
Because there's nowhere to go. Like you're in the line at that point, and you go, oh, I don't have money, I can't go. And so they go, all right, well, you're in the line, and you do go by all the windows. So, of course, you could go by the food window and go, yeah, that's mine.
Well, he's kind of effed right now because it seems like a lot of them, I mean, some are, but it's a crapshoot on which one's actually the first window is being used. Yeah. Man, and that's such a confusing time. I wish they just put a sign and say, hey, dummy, I know we told you, but here's another reminder. Just keep driving. Because I'll sometimes sit at that first window, and I'm like, doo-doo-doo, waiting. And then I realized, there's no employee coming up. I have to go pay at the second window.
I get confused at which machine I should talk to. Because they have multiple, boxes, multiple menu boxes that they speak out of.
Really?
And
I've never noticed that one.
Oh, yeah. The one up, I go to the one up in Everett on Evergreen Way and the McDonald's, and they've got like 2 or 3 of those boxes. And I'm like, so I pull up to the first one because I see cars on all of them. I'm like, so are they using all of the boxes? And how do they know if I'm here?
There's a I think it's the Jack in the Box in West Seattle. They have like a preview menu. So if you're waiting in line, you see what you want. So that way you're ready when you go to the intercom.
They're doing God's work.
But there's a lot of times that I'm like, I forget. And I'm like, I'll have some curly fries.
And there's no box there.
No box there. And I'm like, whoops.
Yeah, I haven't done that yet, Danny. I like the preview menu. I think that's what I first thought it was. But then they started talking to me and I go, well, I'm not ready yet.
That'd be great if they had like a video camera and they just like save that for the company Christmas party and like everyone watches the idiots that order at the wrong thing. Yeah. And just like the confused look that you have while you're trying to order.
I feel like that would be a video of just me.
I look back and it's not. I look back and I'm like, okay, that was kind of messed up. But it was when I was an apartment manager and we had access to the laundry room. So like, we had to be the people that would take out all the money and then go bring it to the Coinstar and then give them the money back. They didn't care. Like the people that ran the property management team that ran this apartment complex, they even said, we don't care about this apartment complex. It's owned by some baron in Germany and he just likes the building. And so he pays us a ridiculous amount of money to make sure it's fine. So like there was zero care about, like they were getting taken care of and they were just like, really, anytime we had a problem, they're like, well, we don't care. You guys figure it out. And like we would like find something like, it's going to cost you $10,000. And they were like, all right, it's not our money. We don't care. Like that was the mentality.
Wow.
So whenever I would have to go get all the money in the quarters out, I'd bring it to the Coinstar and cash it. And I would keep half so I could buy weed.
Nice.
What a great deal.
But you're actually just keeping half. Like,
right.
That's very nice of you.
Well, I figured that would be really weird if I'm like, nope. 32 units. Nobody's doing laundry
here anymore. It's very strange.
So strange.
Isn't that weird, man? Just like that can be a thing and nobody cares.
Right. And I remember I started at I was like maybe just skimming like 10% off the top. Yeah. I'm like, okay, they won't notice. And then like zero mention. So then it went 20. That's how I became like an embezzler. I felt like it's such an addictive thing.
Oh, yeah, it is.
It's like, let me see how far I can push this. And I got to about 50% of it I was keeping and never once did they question it.
Well, and at that point, it's such a small amount that you think to yourself, like, well, they're not going to care. Or if they do, or it's like they're not going to actually press charges.
Right.
Probably not, yeah.
Well, I just realized that the longer it went, the less they gave an F. Yeah. I probably could have just kept all of it, and they would have never even been like, hey, where's the laundry money? And I would just be like, ooh. No. But I always still gave them a cut of the laundry.
That is amazing that everybody was in a position where they were getting paid and nobody cared.
Nobody cared.
Like
this poor baron in Germany or whoever he was. Like that, I don't even know if this was a true story.
The poor baron.
Yeah. You don't really. Yeah, there aren't too many poor barons out there, but okay, we'll go with that.
This poor guy, he's not getting his laundry money.
Yeah. This poor guy who's just got this. And you were like, why does he like a building in America? Like, it's not making any money. You got a guy stealing his laundry money, and somehow the baron is like working out just as I planned.
Yeah. I like this person texted and said, I would sit early at the theater, dump a bucket of popcorn in the grocery bag, then send my kid to the concession for that free refill, and then repeat.
Oh, what a great idea. I never thought about that either.
Man.
Because then you can take the grocery bag and put it right back in your pocket. Nobody even knows you've done this. Oh, man.
How you gonna, yeah. Okay. I was like, the full grocery bag? How big are your pockets?
That's really rubbing in their face if you just walk out with the giant bag of
Don't
popcorn.
mind me, everybody. Got the popcorn. Peace out.
I had this the whole time, jerks.
You're so stupid.
Yeah. And they're like, "Are we, sir?" Because there's a bunch of people going. The Baron in Germany also owns this movie theater. We don't care.
Totally.
We don't care.
Yeah, we don't care about any of this.
Today's podcast was brought to you by Travis Gagne, bankruptcy attorney. He's here right now and has agreed to answer more of your questions about bankruptcy. I have lots of tickets that I haven't paid. Can those be discharged through a bankruptcy?
Yes, there are some limits on what we can do with tickets. Tickets cannot be discharged in a full bankruptcy. In a Chapter 7 case, that won't help you get your license back. But in Chapter 13 reorganization, tickets are dischargeable. Most types of tickets are dischargeable. So you would have to pay back some of the tickets in a Chapter 13 case, but the vast majority of them could be discharged if you complete the plan. And again, you would get your license back right away when you filed the Chapter 13 case, as long as the only reason you don't have your license is because of failure to pay your tickets. But the Chapter 13 process will help you get your license back and repay a small portion of your tickets in most cases, and get your license reinstated almost immediately.
Thanks, Travis. If you have more questions about bankruptcy, you can reach out to Travis anytime at choosetherightchapter.com.
This podcast is brought to you by the Washington State Department of Health. As we continue to listen, learn, and grow, we are amplifying Black voices and perspectives in an effort to start a new COVID-19 vaccine conversation. We're sharing stories intended to help us navigate this unprecedented time together and to co-create solutions in support of the Black community. Hear these stories at weconsiderwa.org.
Realtors abide by a code of ethics. This is Article 9 in action. Beth, a first-time homebuyer, knew nothing about the home buying process, except that she wanted to buy a home. But her realtor had the expertise to make sure Beth understood every document, even giving her copies to review with her lawyer so Beth could close on her first home with confidence. Complicated things explained in simple terms. The difference between an agent and a realtor is real. Realtors are members of the National Association of Realtors. That's who we are.
$20 million, $19 million, $6 million. These are all awards recovered for clients of Phillips Law Firm. To win big, you have to fight big. And Phillips Law has been fighting the too-big-to-fail insurance industry for decades. Not every case will have a multi-million-dollar outcome, but Phillips Law will fight just as hard to recover the outcome you deserve. If you or a loved one has been injured in a car accident or on the job, call or click today at 1-800-JUSTICE or visit justiceforyou.com.